Welcome to The Good, the Bad, and the Sequel. This is the movie podcast where we're talking sequels, and we do it in two parts. The first, an interview with an actor or someone involved that made the film worth watching. And the second, a discussion of the sequel, what they got right, what they got wrong, and how it could have been better. Hope you enjoyed last week's interview with special effects master and pretty much special effects royalty, Rob Berman. We talked about how his grandfather dates back all the way to the Wolfman, and his uncle, his great uncle, was doing all the special effects and all the Universal monster sequels, which is really amazing. Plus his career on its own, kicking it off, working on The Thing, Teen Wolf. I loved hearing about the stories that the fact him and his dad worked on that movie. It's like one of, Jamie can agree. It's one of those movies that, Chubbs. And I just sent a meme to Jamie yesterday with the coach's best quotes from the movie. So good. So if you haven't heard that one, wait until after this week's review and go check out Rob's story. He was an awesome guy. And we are covering the sequel to end all sequels in a way, because it's one that it's on the Mount Rushmore of worst sequels. It has to be. I don't know, Rotten Tomatoes wise, we'll get into that, I'm sure. Before I talk about, the fact that we're getting, Jamie, before I introduce you, we're getting pretty much Captain America 2 right now, because we have Reb Brown, who played Captain America, and Chris Lee, who played, forget his guy's name. It was like Gomez or something as the bad guy. I'm going to introduce you my partner in the sequel watching journey, Jamie Riccardi. Jamie, how are you?
Normally I'm doing fine, doing well, but I'm actually
great.
I'm angry. I'm grossed out. And I think at this point, this movie, now we're on a kind of roll in the new year. We had some decent movies, good movies. This might be in the top 3 worst movies that we've covered. If not number one. This is
not number one.
No, I'm saying if not number one, like it's up there.
Not number one.
It's a movie where, one, I honestly don't know what the plot is. 2, the title really means nothing in the movie. 3, it's a werewolf movie, but there's barely any werewolves, whatever they are. And I don't like horror movies because I don't like gross stuff.
Yeah.
This might be the grossest movie I think I've ever seen. And it's not like like murder or horror gross. It's. I feel like I was watching a late night Cinemax.
I know, dude. It was like they have 2 versions of this movie. One, the one that can be consumed by the public, and then there's one that just has penetration scenes at it. But that's all I was missing.
But it wasn't sexy at all. It was gross. Everything.
I know.
And we've had a discussion when we did Teen Wolf, and that can female werewolves be hot? This movie shows you that no, they cannot, because when they're in full werewolf mode and I feel like we're watching animal sex throughout the whole movie. It was awful. It was just a horrible movie. Horrible. And again,
here's some
we'll get into it.
Yeah. Here's some Purell. Right. Like, wash yourself off for a second while.
Please. I feel dirty. I feel very dirty.
I know. Well, one spoiler alert for you, for Jamie. I don't think they knew what they were writing with this movie, because we'll get into it. I don't think there's any really. There's nothing. There's no plot. There's no plot. Movie.
There is no plot to this movie. I would like you to tell me in a few sentences what is the plot once we get to our guest.
I will. Yeah, once we get in our guest, he is our bad. Jamie calls him just the bad sequel expert. I think he's done some good ones. Ghoulie Used to Go to College, Munchie Munchie Strikes Back, Rocky V, Halloween Resurrection. Man, that list is pretty bad.
Well,
but he did get Cannonball Run too.
That's absolutely like the home run for him. But after this movie, like those are Mount Rushmore best movies of all time.
They're Oscars,
so they really are. Yeah. So
of course I'm talking about our pal Nick Spurdo. Nick, how are you?
Oh, sorry. I think it's a full moon over here.
You know what's funny? We're recording. It's close. I think it's like tomorrow night.
Yeah,
it would be a full moon. I think
it's like a hair off. A hair that grows off someone's chest. Hey guys, how you doing? Doug, Jamie, thanks for having me back. I
Welcome back.
I'm howling with excitement. I'm so excited to be here.
Okay, he's two wolf puns.
I'm on it tonight, guys.
Well, again, I said this before. I think you got to re-question your friendship with Doug, because this movie was torture. It took me 2 days to watch, and even the second day, I had to watch a movie beforehand just to clear myself of. I cleaned myself before I knew the dirtiness that I was going to get into.
A little palate cleanser of Howling.
Had to.
I watched this movie.
We get into
yeah. Oh, I watched this movie when I was much younger. And when you first told me about it, I was like, "Oh, awesome!" I remember I was like, "Oh, that was a really good movie, right?" And then I started watching it, and
Please tell me you watched this with your parents.
Even before the credits started, I was like, "Oh yeah, we're in for it. Never mind."
Yeah. Did you watch it with your parents when you were younger?
No, I watched it over at buddy's house. His brother had it on like VHS tape or something.
And it was paused at the scene.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Oh yeah.
So were you young? Did you think that that's what women look like? Hairy,
hairy
whole body hair.
Yeah, it kind of scared me a little bit, but I soon discovered, I was like, oh wait, movie magic. But
let me ask you this. Okay, so Doug. Mm-hmm. Well, first, before you tell me what the plot is in this movie, here's two problems I have. I have a lot of problems with the movie, but two, they're like every other wolf man or wolf woman movie, they're not werewolves when they're human. They have to turn into that wolf.
Yes.
But in this movie, they seem to be werewolf even when they're not werewolf.
And in the day, and in daytime.
Right, and I was going to say that.
Lore issues, that's a great point, because the one, when they threw in that, it's again, a lot of this writing, it seems like they filmed this movie front to back. Like, they filmed it front to back because they didn't really know what was going to happen next. Because there's one part when Christopher Lee says, oh, it's the 10th full moon. I think him and the Huntress, which her character, they built it up like she's so badass, and then she dies in seconds at the end.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I don't know where he throws in this line, and I think so does she, about, oh, this is the 11th full moon of something. Now they're always werewolves. I'm like, no, they're not. No, people are always werewolves. They don't just turn in the middle of the day.
The one guy was like kicking his foot like a hoof at one point when he was human.
My God.
Like, again, they're werewolves whether they're not werewolves or not. They're always werewolves. That's the one thing. Two, it seemed, and I did look this up. So the main werewolf, Sherba, whatever her name is,
Sturba.
Yeah. Okay, she reminded me like Lauren Hutton from Once Bitten. She had the same vibe, same clothes, and I looked at it. They both came out the same year. Movie came out the same year.
My guess would have been this was first. Oh, okay.
See, now I would think the other one was first, because this movie just seems like it kind of tried to copy a lot of things, and
really,
there's no.
This movie has nothing to do with the other one.
No. But I mean, again, there's barely any werewolves in this movie, and the ones that are, they remind me of Chaka from Land of the Lost. Like, they don't even look like werewolves.
There's one that looks like a Bigfoot. One looks like a wolf, sort of.
Hold on.
And
there's
they
a
use
scene.
that same. Yeah.
I wrote that down. I said, there's one scene where you see like a bunch of them in the woods, and it looked like it was a bunch of like Harry and the Hendersons just running around.
Exactly. There was definitely a Bigfoot. Maybe they didn't have enough mass, and they just like went to it.
So ridiculous.
And I feel like they kind of cross wires with like a Dracula movie, because there were so many vampire Dracula related things that I was like,
100.
They know this is a werewolf movie, right?
And that's why I said Once Bitten, like because that was all about vampires. Mm-hmm. It was very similar. Again, she can't die by the silver bullet, but you got to stab her in the heart with a stake, a steel stake or whatever, and things like that. Like, it was just, I mean, we'll get into that. So
got to go to Transylvania.
Well, yeah. I mean, you go to Transylvania. You're thinking vampire. You're not thinking werewolf.
Yeah.
So what's the plot?
The plot of this movie is, it's pretty much the final act of a movie. So there's no like beginning, middle, end. We are watching just the end part. And the whole point of this movie is you have Captain America's sister died, I guess in some mysterious way, so that he then finds out she was a werewolf. First, he doesn't believe what's his name, and then he sees the footage and doesn't believe him, and then in seconds believes him.
Oh, you see what happens.
There's no other reason for Reb Brown and Judy to be involved in this, because
Jenny.
once the sister's dead, Jenny, once his sister's dead and her friend's dead, why are they doing it? Like, what is this guy's a professional, but that's really, I guess, the whole point of the movie. But
all right, so you just mentioned a couple loopholes. One, she was a newscaster, correct?
She was,
Mm-hmm.
She died on the air. Correct.
On the air in something that wasn't aired, which is so stupid.
Okay. So it wasn't aired at all. So she's a newscaster on the air, but in the first movie, it was casted, right? I mean, it's supposed to be taken from the first movie, right? The end of the first movie, she dies on the air.
Oh yeah, I
think so.
About that.
Right. So it was live, and then he decided not to. So like, if it was on the air, he should have known about it. I mean, he should have known how she died. Okay. The titles, My Sister's a Werewolf, really plays nothing into this movie at all. Outside of...
I think the very end. I think the last lines of the movie are it. Because I think Chris Lee and Sturba, which is really creepy, because she says, you can never resist me.
No.
And then she said, we're going to live in eternity, brother. I'm like, what?
Well, no, she mentioned a brother to the... Earlier. You already knew it was they were brothers.
Yeah.
Brother and sister. When she had a conversation with the guy
I missed
from
the
Pee Wee
first
Herman.
one because there was a very sexual tension at the end that was very weird.
Well, they're werewolves. I mean, clearly all they think about is sex throughout the whole movie. But,
But
I mean, but the point is like, so like the title you would think is based on this guy's sister who's in the coffin.
Oh, we don't. Yeah, she. Yeah. So
you don't see her the rest of the movie.
Yeah, she's nothing.
And the fact that I guess she turns like, so I guess she's sort of alive when she's in there. They never go back.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
because Chris Lee kills her.
Seconds. Okay. Now, since you already mentioned that, she's already dead, but he's mad at her for killing her again.
I know,
because he was so angry at Christopher Lee that he wanted to kill Christopher Lee for killing his sister, who's already dead.
After just leaving the house and then putting it together and being like, you know what? Now I want to go kill that guy.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now I understand the whole movie. Okay. Now I get it.
Before we get into the movie finally, but you know what? You know what? This movie, I'm guessing this is 85, right?
Yes.
I think.
Yeah.
I bet you Transylvania 65000 must have came out the next year, and this movie gave me the opposite vibes. So in this movie, everybody in the town is trying to kill the newcomers, and in Transylvania 65000, they're trying to like convince the people, oh, the monsters aren't real. But there was like serious vibes like of Transylvania 65000. Like they definitely pulled something.
No, absolutely. And I think Monster Squad came out in what, like 87?
Yeah, right.
That werewolf. I mean, that werewolf as a comedy looks so much better than all these werewolves. It's only 2 years later.
Dude.
Like,
the vampire in that's top notch. Everybody in that
everything,
top
right? Yeah. So like, you look at this movie, like it just doesn't like the costumes are awful. They're really like once the movie gets going, once they leave the church and so there's so much going on that makes no sense. Like again, there really isn't a plot. I mean, the plot is you would think he finds out his sister's a werewolf and he's got to deal with it. No, the plot is he's going out there to kill other werewolves. That's the plot. Like,
I don't want this to happen to anybody else. That's his line.
But what's this? Why is the sister so important to Sturba?
Well, the sister's already. Well, I think she wanted to do the same thing that. Didn't she use the sister? Yeah, it gave her the strength, right? Don't you?
That's all. So
that's all. When she turned from an old woman, which we'll get into.
Oh my gosh.
Insane.
Okay. All right.
But all right. So let's get into it. So it's so funny. Like this movie, Christopher Lee was so embarrassed by this movie that when me and Jamie covered Gremlins 2, we read the little tidbit. I don't know if this was Jamie used to have his Hollywood insider that he used to meet in the bathroom. It's like, hey, psst.
Whoa.
But
why the bathroom?
Hey, over here.
Real? Yeah. No.
Hey, did you know that Christopher Lee, when he was on the set of Gremlins 2, he walked up to Joe Dante and apologized for Howling 2?
You know, I I looked up a bunch of Christopher Lee movies, and I know his more recent stuff, but he was in a lot of old horror movies. Like he's like a horror master.
He's a hammer,
he was Dracula.
He's a hammer horror guy.
Yeah, right. He was a Dracula in a bunch of movies. So like for him to be in this movie, it really either he got a good paycheck or he owed someone a favor. Because I mean,
wanted to see Sybil Danning's boobs for
probably
every day on set.
He could have just waited for the credits and seen it 17 times. So it's
because
they literally.
That came out in
I mean, like that was the oddest credit roll I have ever seen.
I know.
Like okay. But yeah, Christopher Lee is too good for this movie. I mean, he's such an awesome bad guy. First of all, he wasn't even a bad guy in this movie, which. Again, you're taking away from him, because I thought there was going to be some kind of spin that he would eventually turn, he's like the head wolf, that would have been something a little better. Like he was a wolf the whole time and luring the other guy, but no, nothing.
That'd be a good twist.
That would have been, and maybe that would have salvaged some of the movie, but no. We had the guy from Pee Wee Herman.
I was about to say that, dude. Dude, I love that this movie has people that we know from other things. So it's like Captain America, Chris Lee, and then we have the escape convict.
Pee Wee, yeah.
Oh my god, dude, the best. But this movie, like right away, that this was just a cheap in by name. Nothing. Obviously, the beginning. The end of the first one bleeds into the second one. That's really it. But just the name of the company, like Helmdale presents. Yeah.
So the end of the first one ends with Christopher Lee reading from the Book of Revelations, or no? Is that
I think, and I didn't see the first one, but I think it ends with the live newscast. Because I think she was like the main character in the first movie, and then she dies at the end on TV.
Because this one started with Christopher Lee just reading the Bible,
which made no sense because then you see like a dummy skeleton pop up in the back behind him. First of all, I feel like is it Frank Oz or the puppets?
The Muppets,
Frank Oz,
whatever,
Yoda, a bunch of those.
Yeah, right. So because there's a gargoyle that's sitting on our staff the whole time that totally looked like a Muppet, and then you have this bone thing, and like it's almost like Dark Crystal. Like this movie had it was like a live version of Dark Crystal. Like this is kind of like down in
Fraggle Rock. Oh man, but I love that the movie says.
So you've seen this movie in the past.
Yeah, I saw it when I was probably like 13, 14.
Did you remember it as you were watching it? Like, were you like, oh yeah, I remember this scene. Like
the scene that really like got my memory going was probably it was Christopher Lee in the mausoleum ready to stab the sister werewolf.
Sure.
The sister wolf.
That was the one that and
I was like, oh yeah. I was like, wait a minute.
Remember? Yeah, I remember the pie scene from American Pie, not Shannon Elizabeth drumming on her naked body. But anyway, before my alarm went off, the one that I set, so when I'm putting my daughter to bed, I usually fall asleep, and then I stay in there till 3 a.m. So I have to set an alarm to remind me to get up. But I love that we go from like the castles.
Want to shop Walmart Black Friday deals first? Walmart Plus members get early access to our hottest deals. Join now and get 50% off a 1-year annual membership. Shop Black Friday deals first with Walmart Plus. See terms at walmartplus.com.
And then we're in LA, and then we're at a woman's funeral. And how great was it that I was totally like joking when I was like writing my notes, and I was like, oh my god, this woman's breathing. While she's
gosh.
You see her breathing.
Oh my gosh, awful. Like you never notice that, right? And when I saw that, I'm like, right away I'm thinking like actors are so good, that when they die, and you're seeing her like her chest rise and lower. I'm like, unbelievable. Like it was so bad, like so obvious. Like
her nostrils were flaring too. It was really funny.
5 seconds. All they have to say, okay, we're going in 5.
Yeah.
No, it's not that hard. And then the fact that she was alive, like a second later, I'm like, Okay, well, I knew that already. There's no
but maybe it's a fool on us. She was alive that whole time, and that's why she was breathing.
She's just really really bad at faking it.
But or she's I am a serious actress. If I'm alive, I'm always going to be alive.
I'm always going to be alive. And why is she in a glass coffin?
I don't know.
Like, is that
a Disney princess?
Yeah, really. I mean, like, in real life, would you want imagine going to a funeral with a glass coffin? Like, it's hard enough when you go over to the body at a funeral and you pay respects and you look it down. It's again, you're looking at someone that passed away. Yeah. It's hard to watch. Imagine sitting there the entire time and seeing like them the entire time. Like that's hard. Like, so why?
Yeah, I think he just blinked. He just blinked.
Especially someone who's been shot for 4 times.
Well, I would hope that person's not in a glass coffin.
No. Close that casket.
Oh my gosh.
Could you imagine if like something like this did happen? Like just thinking of as the character of Captain America, you have some old creepy guy that comes over and explains that your sister is what they call immortal. And it's like, what? And then I think right away Jenny knows that he is an occult investigator, right? Or does he?
She knew
of him, right? Yeah.
But how about his response when he goes, "Your sister's a werewolf"? He's like, "BS, that's BS," and then walks away. Like it was like a normal thing to say. Like, "Oh yeah, your sister slept with 10 guys." Ah, BS. You walk away like, "No, she's a werewolf." Like there was no that's like such a bizarre thing to say to someone. Like you don't have a little bit more questions about it. Like you're just like, yeah BS. Like it's normal that some people can be werewolves, but others not.
And the fact that Christopher Lee kept his business cards in his fedora, that was classy.
God, dude.
I like that.
So where does he leave his business cards? Like, does he go to like Acme and like put them on everybody's car that, he's
that and all the lunch specials so he can win the free lunch and the free massages.
Because otherwise, why would he have business cards for what he does? Is that a normal problem like in the world that he's dealing with this kind of stuff?
I mean, I guess it's before LinkedIn and everything, so you have to get the word out there somehow.
Yeah,
I don't think Van Helsing had business cards.
No, he did have a cool hat.
He did have a cool.
Imagine a big billboard or like a late night ad with Christopher Lee. Is your sister a werewolf? Dracula? Is your mother-in-law Satan?
He's so
I'm
much
an
like
investigator.
He's like a Vincent Price, right? His voice is just demanding in every scene he does. Like he doesn't have to act; he just has to speak, and it's just like it's like has that creepy vibe. Like
him in like Lord of the Rings.
Everything.
Awesome.
Star Wars. I mean, like he has that commanding voice that just gets you.
Man with the golden gun.
He doesn't have a terrible Star Wars name. Isn't his name Count Dooku?
Dooku. Well, why is it? What? It's not Dookie.
It sounds like Dookie.
But it's not. It's Count
close
Dooku.
Enough.
Oh my gosh.
It's got part of it.
Dooku Gaga. That's what it sounds
like.
Like.
They have a Jar Jar Binks. I mean, you really think so I don't think the names are really,
I don't know much about Star Wars. I heard that's like the best character though, is Jar Jar.
No? Wait, you've never seen Star Wars?
I've seen one Star Wars in its completion.
Wait, you called it a Star War?
Yeah.
So you're saying within one movie there's more than one war. So that's why it's called Star Wars.
The only one I've ever seen was Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, well, hold on. Well, you did see the best one. I mean, how have you not seen the Star Wars franchise?
Wait, you said,
I thought that's crazy.
People say Phantom Menace is the best one though.
Okay, no, not even close. Okay, if you tell me that you've watched Star Treks, no, I'm gonna be very mad. Okay,
I've never
seen Star Wars. Get on it, dude. I have like copies.
I do like the little Lego Star Wars on Disney Plus. Those are pretty funny.
Okay, so this is why you don't watch Star Wars. You're not mature enough for Star Wars now. So you're focusing on the Legos. You can't get into the Star Wars world.
Nick, I'm not using that line on first dates. I do like the little Lego ones.
Yeah, the Lego ones are cool. I've never seen Harry Potter.
Oh well, now just go home.
All right, I am home.
It's time for a new guest. That's it. Now you're getting really bad sequels next time.
Yeah.
I'm open to have my mind expanded. But anyway,
the most popular franchise. It's not like we're saying like, hey, check out like the deep cuts of. No, we're saying some of the most popular movies of all time.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Gosh. I've always been more like Indiana Jones and Batman and stuff like that.
Okay, but there's more movies. You have more time to watch other.
I know. There's so many. I don't know. Anyway, we'll continue. Let's go.
To Howling. So now we cut to they're at this typical 80s club. I love it. Dude, this part's insane.
That was the best
time. This is the first time I think we hear the song, right?
Yeah.
Is it the first time?
First of many times, because I don't think there's any other song in the movie but this song.
No,
because it's played multiple times,
many times.
And this bar, underground rave, or whatever it is, it's shown throughout the whole movie. And outside of the three like English guys in the beginning, there's no need to. Like they actually have a cutaway to the scene later on that you think everybody's there. They're not there. It's just that they're showing you the band again, like just to hear the song again. Like it's such a bizarre, like there's so many bizarre scenes that just feel like they were thrown together just to throw it in there. Like
it's very like Grizzly 2-ish with like reusing footage.
Yeah.
Because every time a werewolf gets shot, it's the same like that side shot.
And the same thing with the bar. It's the same shots of the bar of the same people. Like it's like okay. And it's funny. So the movie's an hour and a half long. We see the bar early in the movie.
Too long.
That band is playing the same song every time we go back to the bar. And you're talking about you're talking about multiple days because they obviously have nighttime. They the next day. So that band is basically playing the same song 2 days straight.
And let's not forget, they are the private band playing at her lair. So are they werewolves or are they just doing it for the money?
They say howling in the song, so I mean it's possible.
Well, it's their theme song, but you don't see them turn though. But so she hired them to play just one song for 3 days straight.
Yes.
She really liked that song. She really liked it.
We can't afford Dance in the Moonlight. We can't afford Blue Moon. We can't afford.
Wait, is that the same song that's played during the wolf orgy?
Oh,
is it?
Yeah, it's the only song played in the whole movie.
All right,
it's the only song.
They were too cheap to get Duran Duran.
Say before. Nick,
oh no, I was just gonna say I do need a T-shirt of Christopher Lee wearing those sunglasses and polo shirt and the brown leather jacket. That is iconic. All the crowd hanging out and talking and chatting, and it's just him in the distance, just looking, just like
he doesn't stand out at all.
It's iconic. It's so good. I love it.
Oh my gosh!
When he pops those shades on, and then just the whole thing. So the black werewolf, her part in this movie, she's set up as a hunter. Like she picks these guys, she lures them to. I don't know. Honestly,
warehouse.
Maybe if I was like
warehouse,
I don't think I would ever do this. If I was 21 and like some hot girls like, hey, you want to go hook up? And it's like, oh, what's the address? And it's an abandoned building. I don't really, honestly.
No way.
I don't think I would go in.
No,
but these guys are men do it all the time in these movies.
Oh, all the time. Well, again, look at a movie like this is pure. This movie is pure 80s. We talk about the 80s rule. This is like the 80 rule times 100. So
I mean, the sequels.
And it. Yeah, go ahead.
Honestly, the three creeps could have been like rejects from Death Wish 4. Like that's the vibe they were giving off.
They were the idiots.
Yeah.
Terminator punks. It was the same
Clockwork
guys
Orange,
in every movie. Absolutely, it's the same guys that you'll see in every movie. But again, those are the type of guys that will go to a warehouse, abandoned warehouse, and there was one girl, 3 guys at a warehouse.
And one couple. What was weird was out of the people that came from the bar was 4 people, and then it was the black girl. So, but the one was a couple. So you're telling me I couldn't imagine that if I had a girlfriend to be like, hey, do you mind if we go with Topher and Grant? They want to go meet this girl. It's like, no, why don't we go make out somewhere? No, we're going to make out in the same spot they're making out with these randos. And I love that, right? Does he die first? The boyfriend dies first? The girl?
I think yes, but
one of them get picked off early.
How'd they get there? Like, did they
rode bikes?
She was
motorcycles.
Okay, but was she on a motorcycle? Because when they got
she was
there,
in a car.
They didn't know where. But how far ahead was she? Because when they got there, they didn't know where she was until she popped out topless.
Yeah,
down like all the way down the other end of the warehouse.
Oh yeah,
which that's not bizarre either.
No.
So.
No.
Okay.
God, she comes out. She howls. She howls. Her ear starts moving, and then she's like nude, and then his line. Somehow he can't see her, but we can see her in the camera. The one guy goes, "I know you're there, beauty, and I got something for you." And he starts putting his zipper up and down, dude. Ballsy, man.
The one guy's laugh, though, the guy behind him, I don't know, I forget what his name was, like the guy that looked like a fake Jared Leto. His laugh of like, oh, you're making Deacon mad, and he starts like doing this chuckle, and then the thing that comes flying out of nowhere and just clocks him on the side of the head.
Boxes, like
I died laughing.
Traps.
Were there multiple werewolves there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah, that's why she was howling. She was like signaling, like, "Yo, it's feeding time."
You understand the howling language?
Oh, I speak werewolf. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I've never seen a Star Wars, but he speaks werewolf.
I minored in college.
So were those guys in a gang or something? Like, or they're just like random guys?
I think they were just
creeps.
Punks.
Yeah,
and
punks,
they seem. They wanted to run away. One guy was running for his life, and then seconds later, he's like, "I'm gonna go back in," because he was on the roof, away from everything, and he's trying to break back into the building where he just saw his friend.
That was
weird.
Okay, that made no sense. So you're trying to escape the place where there's murder happening. So let me go back in.
Yeah,
like he easily could have gotten away.
I do like the POV of like them chasing like the girl, like his girlfriend or whatever, and then. I like that part.
They made the camera a character in this movie.
Yeah,
everything is like, and just imagine like acting. You're like in this movie, like you're literally just you and a camera, because like it was just so the way they did it. It looked so cheesy looking. Like I mean, from the point of view of the camera, like
you get some weird POV shots. Like you get the POV shot from the sister in the coffin earlier in the movie.
Yeah.
So
you also get a POV shot multiple times of a hairy nipple. Multiple times.
A lot of hairy.
But there was one hairy nipple they showed multiple times. It was like a reshot so many times. I'm like, all right. And that if they are werewolves, and I don't know if we mentioned this last time, they're basically turning into dogs. Shouldn't they have like 8 nipples?
I would think the female should. Like Sybil,
the female shouldn't
have like her amazing rack. Should have 8 of them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That might have made it a little better. She had 8 nipples, but her whole body's hairy. All right, but she got 8 breasts. Okay.
I bet if the budget for this movie, let's say, was like $5 million, I bet you 2 went to Sybil, 2 went to Christopher Lee, and then the other ones fought over it, because it's like the fact, like her getting pitched this script, like Christopher Lee, I get, like he can be like, oh, I've always wanted to play like the hero, the investigator role. That sounds cool. With her, it's like, hey, you're gonna like do a lot of weird voiceovers, and your mouth's gonna be moving, but it's not gonna be the same words.
Oh my gosh!
And you're gonna be naked for most of it. Lots of leather. And hairy too, in weird threesomes. Okay, fine.
Oh, yeah. How did they get that hair all? Oh, God.
It just doesn't make sense. I mean, and again, Christopher Lee, he's a draw. People probably come into the movie. He's probably thinking, you know what, the first one was good. So maybe this will be good. But you know what? You're reading the script. I mean, shame on again, unless he owed a favor. You read this script, you should know right off the bat this is gonna tank. I mean, it's just so bad. And the werewolf, like most of the werewolf costumes look like you could have got it at Party City.
So like you know the story behind that, right?
No.
So they were mistakenly shipped the Planet of the Apes costumes by the studio, and the director was like, "Wait, this is the wrong stuff." And the producers were like, "You're a what do they say? You're a magic maker or something. Make it work." And it was actually Christopher Lee's idea to, when he says something like evolution is reversed or something like that, and then he shows the different like the masks and everything. It was to like try to like piece together like they're kind of werewolves. I did a little research.
Wait. So you're saying
amazing.
that
they were monkeys in the one part.
They they definitely look like a monkey in one of them.
More than werewolves, yeah.
You're telling I think the masks in Christopher Lee's office look better than any of the masks that were on. Like
and that's why they had that there, so they could be like, you know what, like we effed up on the costumes. They're actually apes, but you get the idea.
Oh yeah, that makes it so much better.
Yeah.
So wait, so you're saying okay? So let me get this straight. You're saying that Planet of the Apes, franchise, their costumes by accident were sent to the Howling 2 set?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
They said they got a box in the thing, and it said 21st Century Fox or whatever - Planet of the Apes.
So they didn't say like, you know what, this is not ours, we should return it to the Planet of the Apes set.
That's
like
what
they decided. You know what? Let me open it and use it. That's
apparently the producers are like, sorry, we didn't keep the receipts. You're using them. Go ahead.
Can you imagine that guy that shipped it? Like, like that conversation he has to have.
Hey,
you have all these.
Where's those apes costumes?
You have all these actors on the Planet of the Apes, set like in their underwear, waiting for their costumes to arrive.
Like,
and you have
the hell is
the
this?
guy saying, "Sorry." Oh my gosh.
What makes it even worse was there was no iterations of Planet of the Apes happening by this point. It was done. Planet of the Apes last one came out in '79. And the TV series was over in the 70s too. So they were probably like, because it says their budget was $2 million. So, dude, they must have probably were like, what's the cheapest option? Because it's funny about this movie that Rob worked on this movie. I bet you they said, let's have a couple shots look cool. And
there were a couple cool shots.
Special effects that looked really cool. Like the one
when his hand gets chopped off.
In the mouth. Yeah,
in the warehouse, and it was still moving. Like like the fingers are still like twitching. I'm like, oh wow, that's really detailed. No,
you want to hear something wild? So this it wasn't in the movies that long, but the fact that this movie was in the movie theaters Christmas of '85 is insane to me.
So you're saying it's a Christmas movie?
There's no Christmas stuff in it, but the fact that they chose, hey, let's try to get people to go see a movie around this time. Hey, let's do it right around Christmas time.
Do you know how much it made? Like at all or no? Like
I can't find it because it was only unlimited. It only has 100.
Yeah, I wonder why. It probably made nothing. It's probably in the negatives. It probably lost, like people walked out and got their money back, so they probably got nothing.
It probably got like a cult following afterwards, though. I could see it getting a cult following. Well, like The Room or something.
Aren't there like 5 Howling movies? So I mean, clearly
7.
How can they possibly want to make another one after this one? Like I can't like oh my gosh, I'm shocked.
I can tell you, like, when it comes to these movies and Puppet Master, like the later the sequels go, the less the puppets move. And in these, the less werewolves you see. In the 7th one, which I would love to cover one day because I think the movie would just like drive Jamie crazy. There's like you barely see a werewolf in it. It's insane.
I imagine Jamie watching that and then what happens to the little person later on in the movie happens to Jamie when
the little person.
What's the piece? I don't know. What's the piece?
I know.
She calls him a dwarf, a quote dwarf in the movie.
She does.
She's like, "What's that dwarf looking at?"
And there's a few little people in the movie. So
there is, yeah.
I was thinking like the costumes of the wolf people remind me of like the old school like King Kong or Mighty Joe Young costumes. Like if you look at the 1930 like monster movies with these guys, that's how cheesy the faces look. Like it just they really look like costumes. Like there was nothing close. Like Michael Jackson's Thriller had to come around close at the same time, like 80s, like 85.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah,
the Thriller was awesome. Yeah. So like what? Oh my gosh! I still can't believe
you get when you have Rick Baker. I bet you the Michael Jackson video had double the budget of this. Easy.
Easy.
Yeah.
And that's a video. That's a
music video. That's an 8-minute long music video.
Yeah. Oh my gosh!
Unreal. So at this point,
can we talk about Michael Jackson's Thriller instead of this?
No, we'll switch this from zombie to zombies. Yeah.
Okay. We do have a job. Okay.
So then this is when they go to Stefan's office, Christopher Lee's office. And in there, this is another lore I've never heard. Maybe it is a thing. I think it actually is a pretty cool idea for a movie. Is if a werewolf dies and the silver bullet's not removed, it can never be like at rest. That I've never heard that before, but that would be a good thing to put into a movie. Not in this one because it doesn't matter. They didn't even care about his sister at this point. But if they were there to retrieve the bullet or something, maybe that's something. But
well, it seemed like they were trying to get different kind of lures with the werewolves because. You know, the fact that you have to wear earplugs, the fact that she has some magical things that go on, like
she brought garlic. She brought garlic.
Right. Hold on. They had holy water. Again, all vampire stuff.
Yeah.
Garlic, steaks. Like so. Like
they are going to Transylvania. You got to cover yourself for all of them. You know.
Yeah. Insurance.
It just like this. A werewolf movie is just the werewolf tears you apart. That's all it is. There's nothing, and they're trying to make it more than it was. And I think that's like if they just had a werewolf like these people just tearing people apart, the movie's different. But they made it too like magical, and I think that is a big part of why it stunk.
When did American Werewolf in London come out? Was it?
Same
it was
year
after
as
this.
Howling, so 81.
The first one. Wow, that was before
they both
this.
came out the same year. Yeah.
Wow.
Listen,
was
I would
wild.
take
So-
Lon Chaney. Yeah, but look at Lon Chaney's werewolves. You ever see him change like how he goes from human to? It's incredible. And this is what the 30s. So you're telling me you can't come up with anything better than what was on this screen? Like it's just awful.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
So this is when another lore for powerful werewolves, silver doesn't work. You have to use titanium. So titanium what kills them all. And this is where he throws in that line. The next full moon, all the werewolves will reveal themselves. And this is the worst part because Chris Lee is being nice. He's like, you know, I showed you this video of your sister getting shot in the newsroom that you never knew about. I told you she's a werewolf. Here's some silver bullets. Be on your way. And then as soon as he got home, he's like, I'm going to kill this son of a bitch. He was home for like a minute. And he's like, that's it, honey. We're getting kicked out of this Applebee's right now.
And he's ready to murder. He's ready to murder someone just because he said your sister's a werewolf. Like don't talk about my mama. You know, you make mama jokes, I'm gonna get angry. You say my dead sister's a werewolf, I'm gonna kill you.
Can we talk about Jenny real quick? Where she's like on the drive home, she's like, "Hey, sorry about your sister dying. You want to come in for a drink?" And she proceeds to pour a V8. Like,
yes.
What? At first, I was like, "Is that a Bloody Mary?" And I'm like, "No, that's a V8 vegetable juice."
Okay, first of all, that whole scene is so bizarre because
so weird.
You know, she's gonna take a bath, a bubble bath. Like you just left a funeral. We're talking about werewolves. You just saw your boyfriend's sister being murdered. I'm gonna take a bubble bath.
And then his entrance. Boo.
Oh. It's like that, and again, and they have sex. Like she's like, "Why don't you sit next to me?" Like she's like all scared, and that was immediately they just start going at it, like ridiculous.
Oh my god! And so this is a part because we kind of like skimmed over it before. We talked about like the sister in the coffin when he goes back, and one thing that's really funny is like he goes from wanting to not wanting to kill him. To wanting to kill him, he sees his sister turn into a werewolf. And then that's when he ends up killing because they're on that property where the body is on Christopher Lee's property.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that there's like a guy that isn't a werewolf, the guy in the white outfit, like the white creature in the suit.
You talking about the older guy?
The older guy that his makeup actually looks good, but he's not a werewolf.
Well, what is he?
No. Wait, the guy with the beard?
Yeah.
Does he have a beard? Yeah. He looks like a normal guy, you know, he's that
Great
typical listen, every horror movie in the 80s has that old creepy guy.
That's the thing about this movie that was
the neighbor across the hall.
That's weird. But the editing in this movie is so weird because they're getting chased in through the woods and Christopher Lee's about to stab the sister and they pop in and he just goes, "Damn. Step away from my sister or whatever." But I'm like, you were just getting chased by like some crazy, like Jamie said, Harry and the Henderson looking creature. It's like, damn, I'm going to kill you now. It's like, what?
Yeah, no.
And then he goes from that to, I want to go with you. She's like, really? And he's like, yeah, I want to make sure this doesn't happen again. And then from here, you get oh, we're going to go to Transylvania. And then cut to just boobs everywhere and women tied up. So there's women that are like, that aren't done up with makeup and stuff. Their hair's not really done. They're the ones that are tied up and all the other ones are naked. And I love that the outfits that some of them were wearing look like they just had leftover leather and strapped them together. Is they weren't even like near the boobs.
No,
they were just a leather
it was like
above.
Yeah,
It was so
it was like
Yeah.
And in that scene, there's a lot of bizarre stuff going on. There was a guy like in a handstand against the wall with no clothes on.
I was hoping you were gonna mention that.
Yeah, I mean, like, so, like, it's almost like they made everybody go, all right, like, just pose any way you want, do something weird, and again, the guy's in a handstand against the wall. I was like, what is going on?
It's the nude mannequin challenge. Just do something.
I couldn't focus after I saw the guy from Pee Wee Herman. No joke. I've never seen that guy in anything else. But the fact that I've seen Pee Wee Herman so much, and I'm sure he's somebody that you remember from it, I was just like, he's in this movie? Like when Pee Wee was like, all right, what's your resume like? Or no, this came out in the same year, dude. That's
really
crazy.
As Pee Wee? So I wonder what he did first. So he went right from like Pee Wee to film. He's like, all right, I'm gonna go to like Romania and film
85.
Czechoslovakia.
Pee Wee is 85.
I mean, his scene in Pee Wee is very short. I mean, this one is more of a co-starring role. I mean, he was in the movie throughout the whole time. So
85 and 85 came out the same. Oh my gosh!
Wow,
year.
A lot of movies. Like I said, the Once Bitten came out in 85 also. Like they had a lot of these 80s movies. But that whole scene, like, what was the point of it? Because it really, like, it's not like I don't know. Like it was just a show that werewolves are just constantly horny.
They're horny. I don't get it. It was like the director said, hey, I want to see boobs and I can't get a woman. So I'm going to make this movie that I can have this scene that I can look at boobs and say, oh, guys, sorry, we got to do this again. Man, 8 days in a row. Yeah, keep turn the camera on.
But the way they did it, it wasn't like it wasn't nice to look at. Like it was just like it looked
sexual
like
at all.
It was a sloppy mess. It was a sloppy mess, and again, it was like gross. And then you're going from there to watching a threesome with 3 hairy people, which was like so gross. Like it really was.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was weird. The one girl's entrance to that was just like her right boob was just pushed out of like whatever she was wearing. That was
weird. It was
really weird.
Yeah.
I was like, she knows her boob is out right now, right? Because like the way.
Yeah.
Well, imagine she didn't though. Like they're like, oh, keep filming. And like it was like it was one of those like wardrobe malfunctions. And
Frank, tell her boob's out. No, Jim, you tell her. No, I'm good. Me too.
So while watching these movies, I usually have like one question I can't wait to ask, and here it is. So when the old woman walks over, okay, and she walks up to Karen's body and sucks the life force out of her, and then obviously it's going to change into Sybil Danning. She's wearing like a babushka Russian coat. And she opens said coat and she's wearing a friggin' amazing sexual outfit. So I ask you, do you think, obviously Sybil Danning knows she's going to turn into the smoke show. She is looking in the mirror wearing this thing that doesn't even fit her body.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
It's the same concept of the Hulk. Of Bruce Banner turning into Hulk, that his shorts somehow fit the Hulk.
Yeah.
After so
somehow after they rip, they tighten in that one.
And they grow and fit this monster. So I would say it's the same concept.
Unbelievable. That's the first thing I thought of. I'm like, she put that on as an old woman.
She woke up that morning and was like,
days.
But what if it didn't work? That she's wearing that the rest of the like that's her like was she sure this is going to work? And how often does she have to do that? Like does she have to constantly like find another body?
Well, I think so because she's getting another one. or she's just doing it as a revenge with Jenny later in the movie, because he's
Mm-hmm.
going to do the same thing, because she keeps saying, like, get me that girl.
Okay.
Which, why was she so far away from her? Shouldn't she have been in the same room if she wants to eat? No, put her on the farthest part away from me.
So, okay, so then wouldn't this be like the definition of catfishing? That you're hooking up with this beautiful woman, and then I guess she turns back to the old lady?
The old lady
and then
with the apple from from
and then you're stuck with you wake up the next morning, and like you just you roll over and you see this old lady next to you, and you're like, what?
You go pick her up for a date, and it's like, oh, you must be Sturba's grandmother, and it's like, no, I'm Sturba, and it's like, no, oh my god, the realization of what you've done.
Did we do
well, okay, so what's worse, waking up to that old lady, or realizing that you basically slept with a woman that gets hairy all over the place because she's a wolf?
Oh. I go with the wolf part, easy.
Yeah.
So is that considered bestiality?
I would think so.
Probably,
so.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
okay. All right.
Can we do it your style?
Peter was a big fan of this movie.
So this was the part of the movie that everybody is a werewolf, because when they're there, and this is what I was talking about, like this is the complete opposite of like what you see in Transylvania 65000. They see the woman that's like blocking the road with a bunch of people, and all the people around the body like, oh, help her, she's dying. Oh. And when they get in the car, they get close to the woman, they scurry off. And they don't even care. And then she turns into a werewolf.
The woman's reaction though is just so funny. She's like,
is this like during the parade area or the festival?
We're getting close. This is like when they're on the This is when they're on the one, like the half a lane road that a car can barely.
Okay.
The car hit her.
Yeah.
She's been.
Okay. All right. That's right. Okay.
Oh man. And Christopher Lee's like, no, I'm gonna stab her. I'm gonna stab her.
And what does he do? He goes, I'm going to walk into town. That's a second. That's why it would have made sense what Jamie said earlier. Like, if they did make him a werewolf, because he left all the time. Later in the movie, when that one guy gets bitten, and he's like, I'm fine.
He was just
like,
so.
Oh, no, I think we should. He looks at his head, sees the cut, and he goes, oh, yeah. I think we should split up.
He just wanted to get away from those two so bad. He was like, whatever I have to do, like, I improvise that line.
But why would he have to leave? I mean, like that's why. Like it reminded me of Silver Bullet. And that's what I was thinking of. Like the boyfriend is helping everything, and then you find out at the end. Like so, that's what I was thinking. Like this is why he's following him and going off on his own. That he was the head. Like he's Serba, not her or whatever. Like he's the main one.
That could have been good.
To me, that would have been so much better. But yeah, so movie wise, why is he leaving them? Like, what was his purpose?
No reason, unless he's a good wingman. And he's like, "Hey, Reb, you go do it, Captain."
Yeah. Well, he's like, "Oh, look at that! Look at the time! I got to get out of here. You guys go do your thing."
Yeah, werewolves are everywhere. I think I'm gonna isolate myself from everyone. It's just stupid.
And don't what do you like? Not for nothing. Wouldn't you feel safer if you're the couple to be with Christopher Lee? Because considering he's an expert.
And he has a business card, so he's legit, right?
So he's legit. So I mean, the fact that they're like, okay, like it's almost like they didn't want to be near him. I feel like they were very oblivious because again, she took a bath, they had sex, they like no worries in the world. They're about to take on werewolves. Like, can you think of anything else but the fact that like I may die tomorrow, I may get torn apart tomorrow by werewolves? No, it's another day.
And they don't check the back seat either.
Okay. How? First of all, I don't care where I am. I checked to this day. I always check the back seat.
Mm-hmm. And that car was do. That car was so small. It's like you would just feel the presence of something else in the. Yeah,
you would hear them. You're gonna tell me the werewolf is like slowly walking in, trying to like. I mean, you would hear the door open, door shut. They're like, there's no way it's gonna sneak in there. Like ridiculous.
That was so wild.
They look in the rear view.
It was so crazy.
The car.
The noises in this movie, like the reaction noises from both werewolves and humans, are just so like cartoony.
Yeah,
like it's
cartoony. And what do we get right from here? We cut to the werewolf threesome.
Yeah,
and then we get cuts back and forth But I think I mentioned this character earlier, but we get the hotel manager, which how funny was it when Reb, when he said to her, they're standing. This is what was crazy. They didn't even check in yet, and they made us see them that they were already in. And he goes, "Hey, listen, if we get separated, let's meet at the hotel." And then they walked in the hotel, and the next scene was in the hotel. I'm like, wait, so you're talking about splitting up? If you get split up, but now you're going to check in, and then not Gomez Adams. Oh my God.
Oh, and look, is that the only hotel in town? Because immediately I'm leaving that hotel. After having a conversation with that guy, I'm like, there's no way I'm staying.
Yeah,
there. Talk about creepy vibes. Oh. What do you say? I don't think there doesn't seem like there's a 13th floor, and the guy starts giggling or something. Or what?
No, he's like you got room.
No, I don't.
You're in room
6th floor.
He goes, you're in room 666, and he's like, I don't think there's a 6th floor, and he goes, funny.
Yeah, okay. The fact that the only room left is 666, that's the first sign that, like, all right, maybe we should stay somewhere. You know what? Let's stay in the car. I am not staying in a hotel.
Let's go to the Bates Motel down the street.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
I don't know if that's to be any better. That's just
Dennis Franz. He runs it. It's a little messy, but it's a tight ship.
Based on the 666 and the way he responds, there's no doubt in my mind that this guy has a peephole in that bedroom.
Oh, and it's the new Moon Festival, so Werewolf City is happening.
That festival is the most bizarre thing. Like,
yeah,
the fact that there are many kids. They're like, parents should be ashamed of themselves by having their kids at this festival, because that was the most violent puppet show I've ever seen, and these kids are watching it.
Oh my God! I thought I was watching Team America: World Police. I was like,
"Oh my gosh!"
I was like, "Who directed this scene? The South Park guys?"
So much going on in that scene. It was like,
yeah, dude.
Okay.
And even this is when they bone real quick. The next scene is when they actually bone, and then we cut to them going out on the
wait, hold on. Everything before they go into town, she's in bed reading about werewolf stuff, and he's like shining his gun while they're both in bed. They're laying in bed, and she's literally like, he's got no shirt on, so they just got done, and he's literally like cleaning his gun while she's reading about werewolves.
I love that, dude. That's amazing. I totally missed that.
You didn't see that? Oh man, he's got to make sure it's all clean and polished.
And what does he do for a living? Because he had a pistol. It was a handgun. So what does he do? Because he's a great shot, and he's always like, he grabs the shotgun later on or whatever, the bigger gun later. He goes, yeah, this is mine. Let me use this. Like what was he? Because the average guy is not going to be able to, doesn't know anything about guns. Like, if you've never shot a gun, you don't use guns. This guy seemed like he's done it many times.
He's a pro.
Shot people.
They could have gave us a line of like a throw-in line, ex-military. No.
Yeah, right.
I do like the line he said though, when he goes like, when the varmints kill the chickens, it's like, you got to kill the varmints or something like that. He said earlier in the movie when he first brought out the handgun. I'm like, okay.
Well, you know what? If you're using the word varmint, then you're probably good with guns.
Yeah. That sounds right. They'd be like, hey, maybe at the end of the movie, yeah, you're a great shot. Were you in the military? No. Postal worker.
Yeah.
Was that happening in the 80s yet? Or was that in the 90s?
Oh, I'm sure.
Reference.
Son of Sam?
Oh.
No, I know. Varmint. I'm just saying, like, the postal workers.
Oh.
The only person I know that's ever used varmint was Yosemite Sam.
I see it. Oh,
yeah. Varmint?
Varmint.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
what is a varmint?
It's like a rodent, right? Or like a rat or something?
Oh, is it?
Well, no. The varmints are getting the chickens, so they have to be.
He's not shooting rats. He's always shooting Bugs Bunny.
That's
Oh, so maybe it's rodents. They're like a rodent, but rodent family.
Again, Bugs Bunny. A bunny's a rodent,
and bunnies
in there. Pest.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's a pest. There you go.
I'll take that. But
is a bunny a rodent?
It's a John Leguizamo.
Not include.
Why would you think a bunny is a rodent?
They're close. Wait. They share a lot of things.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, what is
bunny's a rodent?
Oh, rabbits were rodents until the early 20th century. Thanks, Obama.
Wait, that's what they said? Oh, and then all of a sudden they decided, you know what? We don't want to be rodents anymore.
No, it does say that.
That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
because they probably were like, oh, this bone doesn't match something. Yeah, probably something stupid like that.
You know what? The rabbits band together. We're not rodent. We're not rodents. So we're gonna, you know, we want to go back to the mammal side or whatever.
And the rats are like, who needs you, losers? So now we get, right after they bone, they're outside walking in this festival that seems to be like going on forever and covering the whole city.
It's like a Mardi Gras festival.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact that they
Eastern
don't
European Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. How do they know where to go?
Yeah.
How do they know where to go?
I know. They have nowhere to go, but the fact that they split up that quick, it made no sense. And the dwarf comes up to him and he basically find out
Wait a second. He didn't come up to them. He was making gestures across the way.
Yeah, he was
to Captain America. Yeah.
Yeah. So you first of all, that's not odd to begin with. I mean, he was dressed like he was in like one of those like Willow
you
kind
can
of
dance
movies.
if
like
you want to. You can leave.
Yeah, right. That's exactly how he was. Yeah,
he reminded me of like Warwick Davis.
Yeah, a little bit.
What do you think? They all look alike?
No, I mean, I plead the fifth.
But he was, he was dressed like you said, a safety dance, like Willow safety dance. I mean, like ridiculous. Yeah. And again, that's not odd that he's motioning to you, you know, like. But again, he's the second one. He's even odder, and that also gets attention. Yeah. So who knows?
Yeah,
I know, but the fact that he leaves Jenny, goes, and I love that Jenny's with some creep that. That character at all? No, right?
Why?
Barely.
No, you would go to the woods with someone like that who you just met, and like you're gonna go. What were they doing in the woods? I mean,
his
you know
line,
what he wanted to do in the woods.
Do you know his exact line was? Oh yeah, he wants to meet you at the Gypsy Club.
The Gypsy camp.
But who wants to meet you?
Oh, Captain America, because Captain America left. Yeah. He said, "Oh, he's going to meet you at the Gypsy." Yeah,
he told me to take
a stranger that you have not seen ever is telling you, "Yeah, let's go to the woods."
Who just gives off the most creepiest vibes, like creepiest, like frat bro vibes. Come with me, I'll take you to him.
Unreal, like really,
unreal.
Like, what the hell? Jeez. But this movie, like, obviously this is where she's not a werewolf right now, Sybil Danning, and she looks unreal. Like her, and you know what's crazy? She still looks, obviously plastic surgery and all that stuff. I'm sure she eats.
She had plastic surgery back then too. I mean,
I know. Those things don't move.
Wait, they weren't natural?
Wow. Oh my gosh.
But she just has this look about her, like she is just gorgeous.
Was she in anything else? Like, what was she in?
Well, she was in Playboy before this. Then they plopped her into movies, and then.
Well, I meant movies. I mean, not your personal.
Oh no, I'm saying, but she was one of those like kind of what they did with Cindy Crawford, but it didn't work out. But with Sybil Danning, it worked. She did. I told you when we interviewed for the podcast, a guy that was in a movie called L.A. Bounty, and she was in it. She played like a female cobra. It was like an okay movie, but she did those type of movies,
like Savage Beach and stuff. Yeah,
like she never did, which is kind of odd that she never did like a big movie in a role that, not saying she should be the star in like a monster budget movie, but like nothing, like even looking on here,
she was in like Rob Zombie's Halloween, one of his Halloween movies,
Schoolgirls, like
she was in one of those movies. Okay, all right. So a movie where she probably took a shower and they showed you. Okay,
was it after this movie or before this movie?
Battle Beyond the Stars, Hercules, Three Musketeers.
Wait, Hercules, the Lou Ferrigno one?
No, she was probably in the Cinemax late night Hercules movies. You know, like those kind of like, you know, the knockoffs. You know, not the knockoff, but the knockoff.
She was
the Fall Guys.
She's not. She's from Denmark. She was in movies before she did Playboy. She was in movies in the 60s over there. I never knew that.
60s? How old was she? Like, I mean, like she had to be young. I mean, how old is she in this movie? And it's 85.
Maybe like
look at her. 30. Look at this woman. No
early 30s
birth on her IMDb.
Oh, shocker. Okay,
I'll look that up.
For you to say that, you know, you're surprised that she make.
So she's
Wait, she's 76 now?
30. She's 38 in this movie.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I was close.
Okay.
I said 30s.
Which is crazy to think. Like, back then, that makes sense. Even when I was growing up, like 38-year-old, you think that because she seems so much older. Like, she really does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if she's 38, how old's the old lady that she is before she turns into
150?
Rest in peace, that old lady.
Oh my gosh.
Well, one thing I didn't understand was the voiceover part. Like, I get having a voiceover for like inner thoughts or something like that, but it was like the cassette tape was getting eaten. So it was like she was on a microphone, like it was playing through the speakers and like sound just wasn't being picked up right. It made no sense because it was like the cassette tape was being chewed up.
Yeah.
There was a few like it just a lot of like a voice matching didn't fit. A lot of it was just
the ADR was really bad.
Yeah, really. And it's funny. I never noticed that in movies. Like I just don't pay attention.
Really?
Really. And so like I know Doug mentions it all the time, and like I never noticed it. In this movie, I noticed it. So if I'm noticing it, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, it was.
Especially at the end, like when her and Christopher Lee was like, we're facing off. It was almost like they said, like, we want all of our dialogue to be exactly perfect because they probably just did the ADR. They couldn't get like, maybe the room was echoey or something, but it was so bad. But you know what makes no sense? Like, so Captain America is off with the dwarf and he really doesn't think about what's her name at all. Like he doesn't mention, Jenny. I wonder where she is. He's just, Jenny. He's just like, oh, okay. And he gets the earplugs and I do.
Which was bizarre. I thought, wait. When he handed him the earplugs,
they look like teeth.
They 100% look like teeth. And he goes, they were blessed? Who blessed them?
The priest that we see later in the movie.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so, but like,
tries to tiptoe the loudest tiptoeing ever.
Well, the whole crew.
Sounds like he's goose stepping.
The whole team. The wolf attack team, like they're just like a bunch of old men. Like it was just like an awful. But like when I saw this, I'm like, why is he wearing earplugs? Like it was just because it doesn't come into effect until later on. So it was just like so weird that they gave it him. Like it just didn't make sense. Like you would think he's like
that affect anyone. If we would have saw that affect somebody, then it makes sense. But I do love.
Well, wouldn't you? If he's giving you earplugs, wouldn't you say, "What are these for?"
Yeah, well,
like he doesn't even ask. He's like, all right, I'll put him in there. Like,
I feel like it was definitely a reshoot scene. Like they filmed the later scene first. Like, crap, how the hell did he get those earplugs? And it's like, all right, we need something. And it's like, all right, we got these two guys. Well, just do something. I don't know.
They were pranking him. They were pranking him. And it was like bird poop.
Well, they use earplugs again later on. They do use them again later on, but
they have to use them. But when they fall out of the guy, but even before that, when they're going to the castle, I do love the knife throw that the guy.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so you have this big, and the guy's a big guy, big knight, huge helmet, a huge helmet. He's not wearing any other armor.
No chainmail.
So why is he? So what's the point of what's the point of wearing the helmet if you're not going to protect your chest? Like, you can't kill me by hitting me in the head, but my heart's open for you to hit with anything. That's not like it's like it made no sense why he's wearing a helmet then.
I agree with
if
that.
Anything,
like even wearing a bulletproof vest. If I was a cop, I'd have to wear like a bulletproof helmet and everything because what if I wore that chest? I'm protecting myself. It's like shit. They hit the rest of my exposed body.
100%, but. If I had to choose, I probably would take the chest only because I want more sight, at least in my head. But to have a huge helmet like that, like it was huge. It was like the Black Knight from Monty Python. Like it was that big,
so
like
comical. Yeah, I know.
It's so comical. Like it wasn't your typical helmet. But why not like a chest plate? Nothing. And clearly, look what happens.
Yeah.
He nails him with one shot.
You're like, oh my god!
and the fact that you see it go in slow motion, the spinning knife that's like he throws, and again, perfect shot,
dead on,
nailed it.
Yeah,
he practices that one off. But the thing that was kind of silly was their whole point, which I guess their whole idea was being sent there to just confirm that she's alive.
Well.
Because
he doesn't know he doesn't know his girlfriend's there at this point, right?
No, I don't think so.
No, he doesn't even know.
Okay, so his I guess his point is that he wanted to kill her,
I
don't
think she's even there yet. I feel like this is where they're doing that silly cutaway when she's like, "This isn't the way to town."
So okay, you're right. Oh my gosh, but yeah, so I think he's going there to kill Serba, so she doesn't do this to anyone else. So that's the plot.
That's the plot. Yeah.
No, I know
what it is.
We got it.
So, but why did they leave so quick? Is it because I know they met Stefan there, and this is when we finally reveal their brother and sister, Sturba and Stefan.
Again, that's
which
so
makes
weird.
Sense they have S's. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same metal letters.
Stefan.
It's such a funny name. Why they run away? You mean?
Because they left right away, right? Because he was there.
Wasn't she doing something like some kind of? I thought she was about to like do one of her magic things.
They were doing like a chant. She was doing like a chant, right? Like that.
Something.
No, I know, yeah.
And then I think that little guy said, "Let's run," and that's when his earplugs fell out, which somehow he couldn't find.
Like, okay.
Yeah,
and he was being tortured. Yeah.
He how far can those earplugs have been that he couldn't find them? You see him searching for the longest time.
I saw them in the dirt.
Oh, they were right there. They were right there. Like, is he blind? And we don't know that. That's like because they were right there.
I know. And what's name takes out 2 werewolves. They're lurking. The lurking Planet of the Apes werewolves.
Oh my
wild,
gosh,
dude.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah. Oh my god!
And Nick probably loved the next scene because when Jenny was like, "Oh, well, this isn't the way to back to the town," he said a very punny line. "Hey, lover's moon, I'm feeling hungry."
Oh,
it's a freaking line that's in this movie, man.
So creepy.
You know what? Just there's a lot of lines in here, and we skipped over one that I wrote down earlier.
Yeah.
So when right after right before they went to the hotel room, she goes, "I am so sorry for your sister. You want to come in for a drink?"
Yeah, that was the V8 scene.
Yeah. So, but the fact she's like first line is like, "All right, I'm sorry about your sister that we just saw that you left the funeral.
Her corpse.
Come in for a drink." There's little lines like that throughout the whole movie that are just so ridiculous. Like it's just so like I wonder if they tried to make this like a comedy horror. Without realizing, I mean, or was it just it's just so cheesy bad that people are laughing at it?
Yeah, it's like Troll 2. It's like the Troll 2-ish. Like they're going for it or The Room. They went to make a movie. So
do you think they thought they were making a very good movie?
I'm sure. I think most people
really.
Do. And then you just get to the point. Yeah, because there's other movies that are like big budget movie. Like it just you feel like you're getting a tone, and then it just isn't translating. Probably to what you're actually thinking is being cast.
Yeah, but when you have costumes that are ape costumes,
oh well, that
at that point, do you just throw in a towel and say, "All right, you know what, we're screwed." So let's just make the best of it, or do you still think they thought they were making a good movie, knowing the obstacles they had in front of them?
Again, the editing was
they showed it. That they showed the other costume. That's ballsy. Like Grizzly 2 said, you know what? The suit doesn't work like in Jaws because it was the same guy that made the Jaws creatures for Grizzly 2. And the fact that the outfit that went on to an actor didn't work. So they were just using that big mechanical grizzly the whole movie. And then when he was close, it was like a close-up shot and an arm swing. They could have just done that, but it was crazy that they tried it because there was one time one of the werewolves didn't even have a mask. It was a guy's face flying backwards in the outfit. I'm like, wow, man.
But see that's a great point because they had one mask that looked okay, decent, right? Use the same mask. Use that mask for every single kill. Just keep passing the mask around, to whoever's acting, and that's it. Or just they've done so many reshots throughout the whole movie.
Using the same shot over and over. Yeah,
no one's gonna know. It's a werewolf tearing you apart. Okay, so they're not gonna know. But no, it's ballsy because these costumes, that one scene with 4 werewolves, are 100%. Look like 4 Bigfoots running around the woods.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
The editing is just so manic. It's so the actors or somebody will say something on screen, and then they'll literally cut to showing that action. Like they're like something like I early in the movie, Jenny's like, "Oh, the silver stake through the heart, remember?" And then it's literally Christopher Lee shoving it cuts to like him in his office shoving a spike through a skeleton, and it's like,
I know, dude.
Do we need that? I don't know. They're like,
well, I think this is dumb.
Well, I think there's a lot of filler. I mean, because clearly they keep going back to the club scenes, like so. I think they just listen. There's no plot to this movie, right? There's a lot, so they have to fill up. I'm surprised it's even an hour and a half long. Because really, I mean, if you take away a lot of the reshots and like take away the club alone, you're down to like 100. Maybe an hour and 15 minutes.
A quarter of the movie is the werewolf orgy. So I mean,
oh my gosh, yeah. If let me tell you something, if we had like a spy here and we had to extract information, I would have them watch this movie over and over again. And if it looks like they're cracking, but they're not really giving information, I would just start playing the song over and over again. Over the
so you're saying
wolf orgy scene.
Say like, hey, no bamboo shoots under the fingernails. No
way.
No waterboarding.
Honestly,
there's tough people out there that can handle that. But to watch the wolf orgy scene over and over again, listening to that song, I'll tell you everything. Please turn it off. Turn it off.
I buried the body behind the elementary school.
Please just turn the music off.
Honestly, if this song wasn't as bad as like some of the other stuff that the Halloween.
Some of those songs, it's the only other song.
The Halloween 4 song.
Yeah, but here's the difference, Nick. You hear that song once. We heard this song throughout the movie multiple times, and most movies have a different song for the credits.
Yeah,
right.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Oh, but it's broke.
And
if it's not, it should be. So it's.
Oh my god! So then this is when so the dwarf in this scene, dude, because this is when they take Jenny, they bring her to Sybil Danning. Sybil Danning has like her cape is lighting up. The CGI in this movie, obviously, it's the early days of it. They're just like just messing around, like hiring a college kid. But when the dwarf lures Christopher Lee. He makes the sound of
the voice of whatever noise. Like, first of all, it sounded like a little girl, right?
It sounded like a baby. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, and like, why? First of all, why was Christopher Lee going after this little thing?
Yes.
Because he looked like he was ready to kill it. Like
yeah, and the little guy, you can clearly see he had a knife in his hand. So I'm like, all right, you're up to some bad juju. Like you got some bad.
Oh, wait, the midget had a knife. yeah, but you know what though? So it was a festival, right? It looked like everybody's wearing costumes, and it was like. To me, it looked like it could have been a little kid. What if it was a little kid just dressed up and Christopher Lee goes over there and starts stabbing this little kid? I mean, how did he know like this is like one of the well, that's why he's a professional, I guess.
Yeah, he's a pro. Yeah, that's why he has business cards.
Yeah, he's got business cards.
If he didn't have a business card, he might have stabbed a kid. But no, and the fact that when he gets stabbed and then Captain America shows up, and dude, this is the craziest shit ever. This is up there with Piranha 2. The fact that he threw the little person
and
out
it's
the
slow
window.
mo.
Okay,
the slow mo.
And spikes.
This is my
only spikes in the one little.
He gets skewered.
And you know what? I feel like he would just bounce off it. He's so light. So he wouldn't even like land on his spikes. He would just bounce off it. But like that just shows you like with Chucky, why don't people do that with Chucky? Like literally, it can't be that heavy. And because the way he threw him, it was like he was a doll. So do you think that he was making those? Do you think he really sounds like that, or was he throwing his voice to sound like the little baby?
Oh no, he sounds like that. I think.
So you think he really has the baby voice like that? Because when they took the mask off, it was creepy looking. Like it was like
it was so creepy. And
he's like galloping.
Oh, I know, dude.
He's
and
like
Sybil Danning is controlling everyone. She's like playing a video game, so she was probably inside of him, so to speak, and saying like, making those sounds, because later there's one, she's standing there and she's like looking at the other werewolf. They're having their little like three-way, and she stops and she turns, and then one of the werewolves jumps out of the bushes like in the other scene. It was so ridiculous.
So it would have been funny then if they showed like a clip as like the little the thing in the mask was running around, running back and making. Well, I mean, when you take the mask off, I mean, it's a creepy thing. I mean, it's not
no eyes. He's got no eyes.
No, yeah, I don't know what it was, but it'd be funny if you saw her like as she's playing the video game, going me, like talking like that, so it's coming from her as it's going to the.
Oh my god, dude.
So weird.
And this is like,
you know what? I honestly thought when Captain America got there, I thought he was going to kick him through the window.
That would have been
pretty close.
The way he flew through it though was just so funny. It was so funny.
So good. Why are there?
You got to post that clip. By the way, you got to post that clip. That's
clip.
That's
that scene. I will. Yeah,
that's
no. just the way he flies out of the window, and then there's just a little circle of spikes.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a huge like the end of Mortal Kombat like that level. It wasn't spikes everywhere. Just a circle of them.
Landed perfectly.
Nailed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, he did nail it.
He spiked it.
He stuck
the landing. He stuck the landing.
We're here all night.
Yeah. So this is like, obviously the whole movie seems like the final act of a movie, but this is like where the final act of this final act is happening. This is where Christopher Lee, he pulls out all of his weapons, like he's like sort of like Dexter, and you have like
he pulls out
earbuds, titanium knives, guns,
and he has a few like vampire stuff. So, but he had holy water in a little bottle, which worked for that one werewolf, right? That was in the ditch. He threw it in there. Why not bring a bunch of holy waters? He had one little jar that could use once. That's it. Like that seemed to work the best out of everything they had. Just grab a bunch of those. Or he only had, you could only grab one water, holy water. Because he also had he had garlic, right? You said he had garlic also, or no? Was that before?
Jenny had garlic, yeah.
Okay.
She's like, I brought this just in case. And I'm like, what do you got bulbs of garlic for? Like, you're hunting werewolves,
Gotcha.
not.
Well, you're in Transylvania. You got
to you gotta cover your bases.
But the holy water one was the one that blew up like a dynamite.
The one that was in the grave or the ditch.
That Christopher Lee was like, run.
Yeah. Well, that werewolf pulled a Rambo because they walked right past them and he jumped out of I guess he was waiting. He was, first of all, in every movie, like werewolf movie, the humans have no idea what's going on, because they wake up with no memory of the night before. And the werewolves are basically animals. They're not like, they don't have the mind of it thinking. They just go out there and these werewolves are hiding. They're like creepers. It's a whole different. Well, that's if that's what it is. I mean, I don't know what it is, but yeah,
doing a lot of it.
So yeah, it's just so weird to see these like being crafty werewolves.
Yeah,
so weird. But I love when he introduces the team. You see like a brief glimpse of why they're there. The murders that these werewolves have done.
I know,
but like they all look like retired dads that have they just work in the garage all day. Like they're Not honestly, if I'm Captain America and I'm going to go there to save the girl and get, this is not the team I want.
I know.
Yeah, I don't feel too safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one guy was there just to be the caboose to get eaten first.
They were picked off so fast. Like it was like nothing. Like it was,
They were squad fodder. That's basically what they were.
Well, and you know what? I think, Doug, you made a point. I think you said it last week or last podcast.
Jurassic World, you hire somebody that's
right.
slower.
You hire the guys that are slower, and these guys all look slower than Captain America.
The oldest guys. Why would you hire all these guys that look like Ben Franklin impersonators?
They really did. Like they were all out of shape and old. Like there was nothing. They were bringing nothing to the table.
Did we
it's
pass
a great
the
strategy
part
by the hiring manager?
Did we pass the part with the hitchhikers?
We did.
Oh, we did. All right.
Where the two hitchhikers?
They were driving the army truck, and they're like, "Oh man, they're getting hungry back there." And then like these two they look like they were coming from like a Benetton ad, like Like they're like, oh, we need a ride, and it's like, oh, feeding time. I don't know. I just thought that was funny.
No, yeah,
No, there's
I
so
wrote
many
that down.
of those. Yeah, no, I missed that one. Yeah, I skipped over it.
That's why I'm here,
no.
guys.
There were so many good ones, and then even like so, I almost feel like they cut out the character of Constantine. Who was that? I thought that was going to be the escaped convict from Pee Wee, because when they kill the werewolf that eats the old guy in the back, they take him out real quick, and he goes, "Oh, that was Constantine." I'm like, I don't know who that is. That's
Wait.
we've met.
Constantine was the old guy?
No, not the old guy. I'm saying a werewolf ate the old guy.
Oh,
And then
so
the werewolf came over, and Christopher Lee and Reb Brown killed him.
Oh, and when he turned back,
yeah. So,
Okay.
but I didn't really see anybody, and I'm like, this isn't the escaped convict. There was no other male guy, unless that was supposed to be the guy that took her originally, that took Jenny from the street fair, but I don't remember that.
Or
guy's
was
name,
it
right?
maybe it was one of them, one of the ones that killed one of the old men's wives or whatever?
Maybe, but it was just weird that it was like,
Yeah.
this is Constantine.
He had a name. Yeah, he had a name for him.
Yeah.
No one did.
It was a deleted scene.
Oh my god!
It's on.
But wasn't Constantine a character that kills
Demons.
vampires or demons?
Yeah, it was Keanu Reeves in the movie, but
Yeah,
it was a
right.
graphic
So-
novel. Yeah.
He's actually making a sequel to that.
Oh, really?
Oh.
With Keanu?
Yep.
Oh, I hope so. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for my John Wick sequel, guys. By the way.
Keep waiting.
That's too good. Wait. That's too good for you. You're not getting John
Yeah, I
Wick.
know,
You're
I know.
kidding. No, you're getting John Dick. You're not getting John Wick.
Oh. Wait, I'm getting the porno parody. Like what?
Yeah. We're gonna start
I
going
said,
with that, I think.
there. You know what? We'll find you a John Wick movie.
Oh, what did I do? What have I done?
You know what? There's a lot of movies that are like a knock. I would love to do one of these foreign movies, like like India has such a big movie,
yeah.
like hot Bollywood, and their action movies are out of
No,
control.
we could do one
like,
of those.
They really
and do a
are.
subtitle. That would be a good idea.
Yeah, I think that'd be perfect for you.
I'd be down for
we-
that.
Yeah.
You ever hear the movie RRR?
Yeah, hell yeah, it's awesome.
Doug, you saw it too?
No.
Oh, it's like a 3-hour movie, but
I know,
like the
that's why I didn't
action
see
is
it.
like
It's
ridiculous.
it's crazy. It's like that
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw the totally off topic Monkey Man.
I just saw the trailer
No.
for it.
Looks
looks awesome.
Looks amazing. Looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks
I can't
awesome.
wait.
Yeah, but is that an American movie or is that in?
I don't know. I don't want to like. It feels like
Okay.
it could, I don't know. It could,
Okay.
it's got
Wait,
Dev
is that the
Patel.
one that stars the guy from Dev Patel?
Dev Patel. Yeah.
Eddie Yang, who we interviewed a few years ago, he created the mask for that movie. That movie's finally coming out.
The monk.
Yes, it's coming.
Yeah.
It's
The trailer
Yeah.
looks. The
That's
trailer looks
wild.
amazing.
He made that
Oh,
mask 3 years ago. That's crazy.
it shows you how long it takes to get.
It
these
looks
movies out.
awesome.
So,
It looks
Yeah, it
fierce.
does. It looked like a John Wick movie.
It looks like a werewolf, basically.
That's right.
You know what? That movie's too good for you. So
Yeah,
you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? After doing this movie, you're. I mean, you've done enough of them, but you're cemented. You're not getting good movies. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry
I was
about
in
that,
the I was
buddy.
in the basement before. I'm underneath the floorboards now.
Oh, you're
Nobody's
deep.
Nobody's finding your body. That's
Nope.
how
Telltale heart.
to the
Yeah.
ground, yeah. So,
Anyway,
so
sorry.
I touched on
Off
this
topic.
earlier, but I wanted to go more in depth with it. But when they think all the werewolves are dead, and another one pops out of nowhere and bites like the old guy,
Mhm.
like not the priest, the other old guy, right? Or was it? Was
No,
it
the priest
that
got
bit?
The priest
Oh,
got
so it was
bit.
the
Priest.
okay.
Yeah.
But I love when the priest goes, "Oh, nothing. I'm okay. I'm fine." And he pulls his head close. He looks and he goes, "Okay, I think we should separate." I was like, "That's amazing." He goes, "You take the father and you go to the thing." I'm like, "Wow, that's amazing, dude."
So good.
Does anyone turn from getting bit by these werewolves?
I
They
think
don't
they
get a
just
chance to.
no, because the one
Nobody.
creeper in the beginning got like, oh my god, with what's her name in the warehouse? He got like mauled to bits. I don't think he
Oh,
turned.
yeah,
So yeah, but isn't that that's the lore, right? These werewolves go out there, they bite you, and you turn into a werewolf. But
I thought that was
in this
vampires.
movie, No, werewolves too. How do you become a werewolf?
No, werewolves
I know,
too. No, but I think it's one of those like maybe they have too many werewolves, so they need to just feed.
Or
It
if
seems
they
like that,
if they
because-
eat like the
yeah.
heart or something. I don't know. That would be something if like they eat the heart, they're like, oh, you're not even a werewolf, you're just dead. But like
When did Teen Wolf come out?
85, yeah.
Okay, so that was one of a kind of movie. How could they look? And as silly as they look, I mean, as silly as the dad looked as a
Well,
werewolf.
that looks like
Yeah,
Yeah, but he looked like from Star Wars. He looked like one of the Ewoks.
one of the
or,
you know,
or
he
Teddy
could have
Ruxpin-
been like-
a Ruxpin or one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, something right. But even he looked better than werewolves in this movie. Like, I mean,
yeah.
I'm just again, I keep going back to that because we keep seeing more werewolves come up, and like,
I know,
I'm
they
just,
look so
I'm
bad.
still shocked.
There's
the one
no
that comes up from the bushes is the one that looks like a monkey.
they all
There's
look
like one. It was like a high up shot, flew through the bushes. That one, so that makes sense. The Planet of the Apes thing. That
Was he carrying a banana?
He didn't. He did have.
but they all look different. There's no like continuity with how they look as far as I mean,
Yeah.
it's just
Okay.
I don't know.
So your story that you said that they were costumes for Planet of the Apes, but they looked nothing.
No.
Like they looked like if Planet of the Apes was making a B like a spin-off kind of thing, then I could see it. But these look like so I wonder what they were used for. They were going to be used for Planet of the Apes because they weren't.
Yeah, maybe it was just the outfits. Maybe it wasn't the
Maybe.
mask. Maybe it was just the suits and not the mask. Because no, I know it just looks so bizarre. So bizarre.
Crazy.
so bad.
That whole thing.
You know what's funny though? The werewolf at the end of the movie looked the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
knocked on the door. It really that looked the best. So why couldn't they use that?
That's
Like,
where
I mean,
all the
that-
budget
that
went.
looked
They
like
were like,
full
we only
moon. That
have
looked
we
like
only have
full
time for
moon
one
high.
shot.
Yeah.
Was there a moon at all in this movie?
Well,
the
we
pale
never
pale
showed
moon.
it, but it's understood
didn't
because
show
of the
it.
New
No.
Moon Festival. So
No.
it's kind of silly for a movie that needs more runtime. They could have used like minutes of like a full moon the whole movie.
Oh,
Nothing.
and again, it's like what's known to go with a werewolf is the full moon. You don't
Yeah.
show a moon once, like not once. Okay, all right. So, but you know what though? Clearly though, these werewolves don't need a moon to turn because they turn on their own.
Mm.
Yeah, but well, then we
I
hit
guess-
the 11th moon or some stupid lore thing that happened. And another thing, what was the purpose of like? Usually it's like a virgin or something. Was it just any woman that Sturba could like suck the life out of? Because it's not like these girls weren't spring chickens, and Judy boned hours before. So, like,
Yeah,
what was what was she gonna help out with? That's what made no sense too. They're like, oh, we're gonna use her to lure in Stefan, and also, but there's a lot of things they could have used exposition and like throwaway lines. They didn't even try that.
Well, I
at all.
think that's what it is. I guess they're trying not to be like other movies, and so they're trying to bring up their own lore, own things, and change what it's been. But clearly, what they're doing didn't work, so they should have stuck with everything else.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that when our fans start listening to this, we're gonna get some people putting us in our place for some of the things we said, asking like telling us how we were wrong on some of the stuff because we're guessing on everything, but I'm sure there's fans of this franchise that will put us straight.
Hey guys,
I hope so. I'm
werewolves,
sure there's
werewolves
somebody
hate
gonna
garlic
stop us
too.
10 minutes in. Yeah, werewolves hate garlic. Or 10 minutes in, they pause. They're like, wait, there's boobs in this one? I'm going to go watch this on Tubi.
I'm gonna spend 4 days watching this movie.
Listen,
Yeah.
if our fans are into like bestiality sex, this is perfect for you.
Yeah, we're here for you.
Yeah,
That's equals only. Follow us on Twitter. It's fine.
Listen, you know what? For an 80s movie, it's still like they showing the amount of again the hairy sex with the wolf crying, like the howling during it, like it just made it even the way they were howling during it made it even worse.
I know.
Like they should have done it if they did it before they turned. That would have been better, or maybe turn as you're doing it because it got so excited. Then that's how it works.
The wolf
but
comes
to
out.
see like right, that would be better. But to see the full it was just weird. It was just
all the hair,
Yeah.
like
And there were just
So
so
weird.
many people in this movie, like in the castle orgy scene. Even the people that when that woman was laying on the ground, they were sort of like setting that trap, and they left her. So it was kind of weird at this point. We didn't see like a lot of werewolves die, and then it was really just the huntress, and Sturba, and the escaped convict from Pee Wee, and then some random guy, the random werewolf that was trying to kill Judy.
Jenny. It's all right.
J Dog. I call her J Bird. So J Bird is strung up, and I love that Sybil is yelling for her, like she's like, "Bring me the girl." And when they go into the room to get there's a random werewolf in there gonna get ready to kill her. So then you have the huntress murdering that guy. Oh no, not even that. Reb Brown busts through the door, shoots through his head. That was actually a decent shot because you saw like the blowback from the end, and then the huntress, who's this badass, gets super close to Reb Brown, and he stabs her with a titanium knife, and she's dead.
And she's
I was hoping for a battle of something. No.
You know what? There's no battles in this movie. Like
None.
even at Cerberus at the end, it was quick. Like they all were pretty quick.
Yeah.
But
hers was just as dumb. She fell for the same trick. It was like, hey, come close. I gotta tell you, I gotta whisper something to you.
But no battle. Like you would at least let her turn. Like, and she wasn't even a werewolf at the time.
Yeah.
Like turn into a werewolf. Like it just
They really did them dirty.
No, the whole thing is dirty. The whole movie's dirty.
So speaking of dirty, when the father walks in and he's tiptoeing into the scene, and Sybil's like staring away, and then I don't even know what he's trying to do or what he's looking to grab, or I know he has a weapon. in his
who's
hand.
Sybil?
Sybil Danning?
Sturba.
Oh, Sybil. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sturba.
So when she's like not looking, but the guy is like so far away, but he's getting ready to wind up, and he's so out of shape and he's fat, so he's not even gonna get to him that quick. But when she like turns on him, and that I love that creature she had, I thought it was like a plush toy, right?
I again, that's the Jim Henson, but like it wasn't moved. First of all, it was like was it alive yet on her staff, or was
I thought it was a toy or something?
I thought it was a pet at that time. It was just awful pet, and like that's why I said Jim Henson, like because it looked foamy, like it looked like it was like a foamy rubber kind of thing. But I thought it was like real. But yeah, the fact that like. Okay, so the death this whole thing doesn't make sense. This creature thing doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
because
goes in his throat.
Yeah, but he seems to hide in there later, which made no sense.
Oh no, he does hide and pop out later, almost like, "Hey, where'd you go?"
Yeah, and he goes back in there. Yeah. Like and like so. First of all, okay, the death that the gargoyle or whatever it was did, it looked like he was having sex with him.
The way like that, but did you notice the person who was in the mask was pulling the intestine out of the mouth on his own?
What do you mean?
You could see the guy.
He was.
So
really?
The creature was in the mask, like eating or whatever. But the guy was pulling. They couldn't cut this. So
I didn't even notice
his
that.
Hands working, and you saw him like moving the rope like this.
Oh my gosh, that's awful.
I'm like, wait, you're telling me you're getting murder, and your reaction was like, pull my intestines out, like not like pull his bat off my face. Let me pull my own intestines.
So what is that went down his throat? Because that gargoyle was like,
gargoyle bat.
No, but
a vampire bat
long at it. But what was it that was pulling out of his mouth? Because his tail,
like his
intestines. Yeah, it was his.
He was pulling his own intestines out.
Yeah.
Somehow, I guess the bat reached down and grabbed him. I guess.
Wait. Hold on a second. So you're telling me this bat was looked like he was having sex with him because the way that it was going, whatever it's doing, but he went in. He didn't go all the way inside. So how did he reach his?
It made no sense.
So somehow,
hey, what can we make this look cool? It's like
that was his intestines.
Yeah,
I did not know that. I did. I thought it was like his tail that grew, and he was able to choke him with it, and then he started. Okay,
it looked crazy. Gosh. It looked.
But you know what? It makes sense now because he needed room later on to go down there and hide because he couldn't do it all intestines down there.
He had to make room.
Because when he peeps out later on, it's so ridiculous. It's like the gopher in Caddyshack. Like he peeps out, he's looking around what's going on, and then he goes back in there.
Yeah.
Like he built a home. That's it.
God, and then another movie that, again, there was like not much action anyway. Like you said, like let's hope for something. No, you have this stare down. They both have these dumb voiceovers going. They have like the CGI, going around each of them. Like Christopher Lee's outline, Sturba's like using these swirly powers.
Yeah,
which they don't explain.
No,
they don't explain at all.
They don't explain anything, dude.
No,
but when they get that close to each other. And he stabs her, and then we get this weird, like...
Well, he's in a trance first. So he's in, like, a trance.
He is, yeah. Because he, like, floats over to her, yeah.
Right. But if she's a werewolf, is he a werewolf also, then? Like...
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
But she, like, was waiting for a kiss. They're brother and sister.
Well... Okay, really? Like they're a werewolf that is into threesomes and crazy orgies and everything else.
Incest.
You think that's beneath them? But you think that's beneath them? Like that's crazy because that's disgusting. No, it's. I think anything goes. If you're a werewolf in that werewolf society that she created, I think anything goes.
Yeah.
Anything goes.
That was just insane. Like that whole thing was the fact that. She like got that close, got stabbed, and then she's like, "Now we'll be together forever." And the flames go around them, and then they get like sucked into hell or the afterlife.
So but see, that's so stupid. Like this should have been some kind. Like she should have turned into a werewolf, thrown him against the wall a few times, and then put him in the trance. Like there was nothing. Like she's supposed to be this powerful thing, and she does nothing. She does nothing.
Yeah, they really. Okay. Yeah. There's nothing. It's just I don't know.
And then another one. It ends. So and then from there they rush to the end of the movie. She's covered in blood. Yep. He runs up to a random innocent man, points a gun in his face, and says, "Where's the nearest airport?" Which he should not be able to get on a plane. He should have been arrested. And then they show a plane leaving, and then we cut to the end scene of the movie of when it's Halloween. And I'm like, oh man, this would be great. Like if there was really a werewolf. And then when the kid came, I was like, oh my God, that was
the best looking werewolf in the whole movie.
It was. So was that okay? So was that a mask or was that really a werewolf pretending to be? That's what I thought. Like, but you think it was a mask?
I don't know.
See, I think it was really a werewolf
because she saw him go into the apartment across the street, across the hallway.
What does that have to do? He could have been a mask. Yeah, but it could have been a mask going across the street.
Nobody lives in there. The bachelor guy by himself.
I don't have any children.
No, they had a guy that looked like he was wearing a priest outfit come out.
He was a weird looking dude. He was a weird frog face.
He was like Igor. The way he
I don't have any children. I've been single. I'm a bachelor.
I live alone.
Why don't you come over anytime or something like that? Like
she's like maybe later.
Maybe later, and he goes, I hope so. I hope so.
So bad, so weird.
Oh man.
So even that doesn't make sense. So is that guy a werewolf? No, we don't know. He just a creepy old man. You have a kid, or you don't know. I don't think they really were sure what they wanted. So is the third one anything to do with this one?
I don't know. I've never seen the third one. I've seen the seventh one.
So if anyone's wants to watch these movies, we probably should suggest, even though we haven't seen the other ones, skip this one because I can't imagine the other ones being worse than this. Like it would be. You know what? This is pretty far scraping the barrel. I mean, I really don't know how this movie could have been any worse because it. All right, I don't know. It's bad. This is a top 3 for me. I mean, almost mirror level. Like this is up there.
So what would be your top 3 before we ask our guest, his opinion? Well, what would you? Because obviously we didn't like the movie, but what would you say would be your top 3?
Well, I blocked out a lot of bad ones, so I don't know. I don't remember. But I would say, I mean, this is there. I mean, this mirror is definitely there. This is there. I don't know. I mean, to me, the Munchies have gone up to maybe 10 now.
Son of the Mask?
These,
Son of the Mask?
You know what? I'll watch that over and over compared to this, without a doubt. This is bad.
I agree too.
Again,
there's
maybe
no story. There's no characters that I really enjoyed. There's
again,
no like beginning, middle, and end. There's no good
and
action.
it's gross.
Like, if there's
It's
one of those,
gross.
I'm fine with it. Yeah,
it's gross.
Yeah, it's a mess.
I don't know what. I don't know my third. I mean, I would watch Talkie Pony over this because at least he had some comedy act. You know, he had some comedy to it. Like
I bought that for $1.
I'm not surprised.
Cheers to Tom for that. So Nick, would you recommend like was there any watch this? Because obviously it's not a good movie, but was there an like while you watched it? Would you recommend somebody to check it out?
Yeah, there was definitely joy. I mean, it's definitely it's a complete mess. Like we've talked about for like 2 hours now. Yeah, it's a complete mess, but it's a fun mess. It moves. There's crazy stuff happening all the time. So I was engaged. The music, aka the one song that plays throughout the entire movie, it was catchy.
Okay. You're never leaving the bad movie podcast with us ever because you don't even consider this a bad movie that you're recommending.
It's gotten to the point with you guys. It's like Stockholm syndrome. Like I'm trying to find like
this is good.
Yeah, you're molding me.
You know, we thought we thought like we're punishing you watching these movies, but you're actually enjoying them.
See,
so like it's like backfiring.
It's called reverse psychology, my friend. All right, I'm trying. See, this movie is like Citizen Kane. No, I would recommend it though. Yeah, it's fun. It's cool.
Yeah. I wish this would. I don't know if this would be fun in like a theater with a bunch of people that like also didn't like it. Like there's just like I don't know. There's just not like good lines. Like there's none of those memorable things or like a character that I would ever even think about again.
Sybil Danning, I would think about again. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think
you know
what?
All the time. I wanted more of the midget that gave out the earplugs. I wanted more. If I could have a little bit more storyline in him, because he's great with the knife. He had like the little weapons for the earplugs and all that stuff. Like I want to know his backstory. Then if we had a little bit more of him in the movie, all right, a little bit better. Like he's like my favorite character.
You just used the word "little" like 5 times.
Well, I don't know what the proper way to say it, but
I'm not even saying you weren't even talking about him. You were just talking about he had the little weapons.
Oh,
he had the little knife.
I mean,
a little bit more of him, a little backstory.
All right, whatever. Anyway,
just the backstory.
You asked me the same question. Absolutely not recommend this. Yeah. I think I would lose friends if I recommended this movie and people watched it. The movie is awful. Honestly, I did not enjoy any part of this. Even seeing her, you know what? They ruined it by showing us 17 times at the end with the song, and it was like overkill. You know, again, I'm not a horror fan to begin with, and these kind of movies are just pushing me further and further away. Yeah, so,
no, I prefer like slasher over horror anyway. But now this is no redeeming qualities for this one. So we'll put this behind us. We'll move forward. Thank you, Nick. The next sequel we're going to be covering is a really like super monster budget one that kind of changes the game when it comes to the way some special effects are being done. And also from talking to next week's guest, Lee Arenberg, who you know from he plays Pintel in all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. He was in so many amazing, like, I love talking to him because start of his career, he's on like Perfect Strangers, Night Court, Seinfeld. He's Mike in Seinfeld. So there's a lot of amazing stories from his career, but I love that he grew up out in Cali. One of his boys, Timmy Robbins, Johnny Cusack, he called John Cusack.
Johnny.
They started this own little theater group. So they're doing a lot of comedy, sketches, and up until like the 90s, dude, he had Jack Black. Kyle Gass was his roommate. For any Tenacious D's fans. So great stories about his career. So it'd be fun to that interview and then to cover a movie that it'd definitely be up there with the largest budget movies. I'm sure that movie is more than Terminator Genesis would be the only one I would guess would rival that. But yeah, so that'll be a lot of fun. So don't forget to review, rate, share our podcast. Follow us on all social media.
You didn't name the movie.
Pirates of the Caribbean 2.
You didn't say it.
Oh, Dead Man's Chest. I didn't say the
No, you didn't say Pirates of the Caribbean either. You said he was in it, but you didn't say which movie we're covering.
Oh, the second one, guys. The second one. Pirates of the Caribbean 2, Dead Man's Chest. So now, don't forget to review, rate, share our podcast, follow us on all social media at Sequels Only, and don't forget to check out our website, sequelsonly.com. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, guys.